well, first of all, one of the horses that I put up originally last night was Champagne Rian. But he's a non-runner, so that's scuppered that. Also, then I thought, I'll throw another selection there, which obviously isn't on the screen, and that was 5:45 at Chepstow, which was ace high, because I couldn't believe that I thought he was so well handicapped. And going back to Chepstow where he won his novice chase, look, there's again on the studio, and he's a non-runner as well. So we are left with the Rebecca Curtis horse that we spoke at length about, Potter's Cross, 3:35, obviously isn't on the screen. And
did you say early on that this horse was the same ownership as
T for Free?
Yeah, so that's interesting as well.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And he's from, I know I've said this originally when we were talking, but he's from a beautiful family, the family of Morley Street in Granville again. And 6'10".
The distance in long term as well, this horse here, ran over this. I mean, presumably it'll go chasing and a bit further on breeding.
Yeah, well, Morley Street and Granville again were obviously hurdlers, champion hurdlers.
Morley Street was quite quirky though. He always had to be put right on the line to be delivered late.
I mean, the fact that Potter's Cross has already won a 3-mile point in Lisrona in Ireland. Yeah, you think that would be. But I just very, 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 very keen on him today. He wasn't on my tips have gone, but he wasn't on screen because obviously that came after the deadline of getting the tips in. And Triller and Manila, the Graham McPherson horse, Wayne Hutchinson rode him on debut at Wincanton behind the Sky Farmer. Sky Farmer's gone out and franked that for him yesterday. It was a lovely introduction. Ran a very, very nice race.
And we think a good price on that one, don't we?
He's a lovely price,
20 to 1.
You know, he's Graham McPherson small stable is flying under the radar slightly. So my tips for today are Potter's Cross in the 3:35 at Chepstow and 6:10 Chepstow, Triller and Manila. And I know you saw that VT earlier with myself and David Jennings. I'm still very keen on Heaney in the Munster National. I just can't get away from him.
Touch on McPherson. Do you remember a horse called Traditional Bob last season that he got in trouble for because of them running out the back a little bit? And Traditional Bob caught my eye last season. I don't know what his plans are this year, but McPherson's definitely a very shrewd yard. And when the money's down, their horses tend to run very well. So it'd be interesting.
12 to 20s today. So.
Yeah,
sorry?
Most of it is on the drift,
It's on the drift. Oh, well, I wouldn't fancy that then.
The thing about that, is it going to go hurdling this year?
Triller and Manila, I believe so.
This could just be a pipe opener then.
Could be, but I have sort of. I know the connections, and I know that they are very keen on this horse.
Okay.
I reckon he's going to do a Traditional Bob today.
Okay. It's worth an each way shout anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sandy, have we got selections for today?
Yeah, we've got to the 4:15, the Novices Chase. I'm happy to back Double Ross. What price was he?
Double Ross was about 10 to 3.
10 to 3, okay.
Yeah.
100 to 30. There you go.
Yeah.
The race was actually won last year
Doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, by Fingal Bay. I don't know, Catherine, do you know what's happened to Fingal Bay? Obviously he had the fall at Exeter and was off injured, but have you heard if he's back this season?
I heard he was coming back, wasn't he, at some stage, but that was the last I heard.
It's been very quiet on the Fingal Bay front. I wondered, even if any of our viewers know, tweet in and let us know what it's about Fingal Bay.
Luke?
As I mentioned earlier, my nap, I'm taking on Sandy and going for Border Success. I just think chasing is going to be the making of him, and hopefully he can re-find the winning thread again today. But Sandy seems so confident on Double Ross.
So it'd be quite interesting in a match bet. And you beat me in a match bet the other day, Sandy.
Yeah,
didn't you?
What was that?
What was the selection that you gave him a week?
Sorry, what did you say? Bowen does not have horses win at this time.
Well, he doesn't have many. He doesn't have many. You pick one there.
He's had he's the runner.
He's got up his nostrils. We were watching it yesterday.
I think he traded about 550 to 1 in running.
Did you have it in running?
Of course I didn't know.
No.
At Carlisle, races do change very quickly.
Yes.
And Lively Baron looked all over the winner, but he's quite tricky.
Okay, so you've given us one
Double Ross, yeah.
Okay.
I was earlier on. I did touch on in the big handicap chase, the 5:45. I was talking about Alco being stepped up in distance. Tom O'Brien takes the ride. Dougie Costello rode him at Market Raisin. I still think Alco's got a big race in him. He'll be staying on strongly at the end. I'd also like to touch on Alfie Spinner from the Nick Williams yard. Tom Scudamore takes the ride. He jumped poorly at Wetherby last season when he was backed into favouritism. I've had my eye on this horse for such a long time. He has ran back in December 2011 over 3 miles in heavy ground. I still feel that he's better on good ground though, and with a mark of 130, I still feel that he's potentially on a mark where he can improve. He did jump poorly at Wetherby though, he wasn't fluent and he was very disappointing. Hopefully he's had a nice summer break and he'll come back fresh, and I expect Alfie Spinner to run a good race today.
Luke.
Yes.
We cut you off earlier on when you went nap. So let's get your napping.
And that was Border Success that I
just
spoke about in depth. Outstrip is also another one that I can't see losing, and I know you're with me on this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my selection on the screen. I've also touched on Doc Hay, Barclay Brook. Is that Baron Brook? Barclay Baron. Sorry, Baron Brook. Baron Brook's running later. Yeah.
Does, yeah.
Barclay Baron. I kind of got put off a little bit last night by someone telling me that it might need the run, but
that's someone telling you. Do we know who they are?
Luke, what's this connection?
Race course rumours.
She manages the horses for the owner.
Right. Is this the same one that told you Ann Cotty was a dead cert the other day?
Maybe.
Right, okay. I don't want to get you too much into trouble, but you think it might need the run?
It might need the run, but every drop of rain will be in his favour.
Okay.
One that wasn't on there that I am going to touch on is XLR, that I got through in my tracker late last night after I sent off my selections. Last time caught my eye is a 10-year-old, but last time it was looked after.
Is that Lucinda Russell?
Yeah. Peter Buchanan rode it last time, and they've got a £7 claimer on this time. The worry is Peter Buchanan rides something else in the race for Lucinda Russell, but they're matched in the betting, and to be honest, XLR's dropped £1 for its last effort when it was 10 lengths behind Strobe, who reopposes today. An extra £7 off, it should have no problems reversing the form with that one, and it potentially looks a weaker race. So I think XLR is definitely worth a shout today.
So what amateurs on it, did you say?
Stephen Fox.
Stephen Fox.
For what it's worth, I'm going to go with Outstrip, Newmarket 310.
Good
I
choice.
think that's going to beat the Aidan O'Brien Horse War Command. I'm also very much, we looked at this race yesterday with the Potter's Cross.
Yeah.
I'm really hot on this one as well for Rebecca Curtis and Tony McCoy.
Apparently, reportedly, he was weak when he arrived at the yard. I forgot to mention that earlier on.
Yeah.
And he did strengthen up over the summer. Take that how you will, sort of thing. But apparently, he was a weak when he first arrived.
Okay, so price around about 4 to 1. If I think it's value.